Hey everyone, this is Nemesis with another video review. This is the Transformers Titans Return Overlord with Dreadnaut, the leader class, previously Japanese only character who's now finally out in the US and stuff through Titans Return. And yeah, it's he's, as you can see, a jet and a tank as he should be. He is black and blue and white and all that stuff. And of course, as usual, he comes in this fairly large leader class box, so you can see only the bottom of it here, but yeah, you can, Ages, Hasbro, Transformers, artwork. There he would be. All that stuff. Nothing on the top, except for the Decepticon logo. On the bottom, it's just copyrights and barcodes and stuff. Side, it's just Decepticon logo there. This side is more artwork of Overlord. And back here, you got all the different modes and stuff and whatnot, and other figures you can buy in line. Because this is pretty much, we're at the end of Titans Return, as you're probably well aware. Also in the box, comes with instructions. It's typical, pretty typical. It's instructions there. And yeah, that's what it comes with him, besides the figure. And it's yeah, he's supposed to do. He turns into a space jet thing and a tank. It's a very kind of a small tank, as you can see. Kind of chibi, I guess, if you want to use that word term. It's blue, green, this green, white, purple, and this bit of orange for the translucent cockpit. It does have wheels, translucent orange wheels. So it rolls. Rolls really pretty well. Usually these kind of wheels, I've noticed, don't roll freely, but these ones actually do. That's good. But it's a nice little tank. The turret doesn't rotate because of how it transforms and everything, but it's a pretty decent one. Then you got the space jet thing. It's mostly black, and with the white and purple on the sides. A little bit of green detailing here and there. Or again, orange cockpit. The thing is, again, those stupid metallic stickers they've been putting on everything lately. It still has those. They're not as egregious here in the tank mode, but definitely there's this one right here which bothers me. And yeah, the symbols are the metallic symbol and this striping. These are not even lined up properly, if you can see that. Not quite lined up, which is unfortunate. But it's a cool looking jet, or space jet. I mean, this would not fly, really. I don't think the wings are too stubby, but as a spaceship, it looks pretty cool. So there's that. It's also got the landing gear. They fold it, but if you don't, yeah. Without it, it just collapses forward. Not surprising, really. You got here is Dreadnaut, the little Titan Master. You can go in there in the tank or in the jet. Thing with the jet, this cockpit is really difficult to open. I can't really get my finger in there, so what you have to do is pull this nose off, which I suspect the only reason you have to do that, you can do that, is to do this. There's nothing in the instructions about it. But then you can actually open that, and you can go in there. You can also open it from the bottom, weirdly enough. I'm not sure what that's entirely for, but there you go. You can fit in either cockpit for the tank or the jet. We had a Dreadnaut here. Yeah, Dreadnaut. He's mostly gray and black. I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot to him. There's a little bit of paint here on the face. I mean, you have I guess greenish with a gold face. But otherwise, yeah, not a whole lot of detail, but there's at least the face is picked out in paint. That's a lot better than they were doing previously. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of articulation, just ball jointed shoulders, which can move forward and backwards a little bit, and you got hips and knees. And there your articulation. As per usual with the Titan Master. So yeah, Overlord here, though. He's got multiple modes beyond just jet, these vehicle modes and robot mode. He, of course, has his base mode, as the leader classes want to do. So to do that, you want to go take this tank. You want to pull the turret off. I've heard people breaking this turret because it is in there tight. And thankfully, I haven't had trouble yet, but be careful if you do have it. You might want to. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm going to possibly shave down the handle a little bit because it's also tight in the fist, so I'm not too worried about that. But anyway, you want to split here at the front. It's pretty much almost identical to Sky Shadow. Split it here in the front. Fold these out. Collapse these around. they'll tab into place with a nice loud click. Then here, you want to rotate these around at the thighs. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit up. It's going to be easier. Rotate the thighs here and outward like that. I believe I did that wrong. Yeah. Outward like this, and then at the knee, you want to bend it forward like this. So then you got this little shape right here. And then also open the feet up. Take these little platforms out, close it back up, both sides. And you got the lower half done. Now for the upper half, take the jet. It's actually pretty simple. What you want to do is take these pieces back here, unfold them, fold them back like that, like so. And then take this whole rear section and fold it out like this. From there, there's the slot. You can plug it in here. And then you go around and fold up this landing gear. And then, of course, you want to open up the cockpit, which again I have to remove the nose cone for. And that is the instructed base mode. You can take the gun. There's a little hole right here. You can put the gun in, but again, it's kind of tight, so be careful doing so. But yeah, that's very much the base mode right there. It's all right. Nothing particularly special. You can, I mean, you can stand the Titan Master wherever. There's once again the pegs everywhere. Although these platforms you want to support something underneath because there's nothing under here and it's super thin. But these are peg holes for the Titan, or pegs for the Titan Master. It's a okay base mode. Could also kind of work as a weird rolling tank thingy, I guess. But yeah, it's all right. I've never been really particularly impressed with any of the base modes on these figures, but it's passable. Almost could look like a shuttle launch, I guess. But anyway, from here, to get it to robot mode, it's not too much more difficult, really. You just gotta fold it back up and put these back up, because these are pretty much these pieces are pretty much just holding it from collapsing on itself. So just be aware of that. I'm gonna go ahead and again adjust the camera because this guy's gonna be a bit tall. And take these legs and then straighten them out and whatnot. Straighten them out and then rotate them back around like this. And then on the feet, fold those back in and put the feet up like that. Then the heels, fold them out. Now you can stand. Now back here, what you want to do, this right here, is actually unclip that. I'm going to put this off to the side for now. Unclip this and then fold this back on the back like that. Untab the arms. And on mine, this arm, I don't know what it is, but this tab, I had to shave it down because it was just too big to fit in the slot. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it just would not tab in properly, so I had to shave it down right here a little bit to make it fit, but it works now. And then from there, you want to take these little wings, fold them back, and take the fins and also fold them down. Extend the arms out. There's no locking point or anything. They just kind of sit out there. Then take the fists, fold them out. This. Turn the helmet around. Open it up. Take Dreadnaut, fold them in half. Plug them in. And close that up. And you got more or less Dreadnaught's robot mode. Yep. It looks like the old Dreadnought. Or not old, sorry, Overlord. I'm pretty sure I said the wrong name. But yeah, Overlord. From the old Japanese G1 stuff. Of course, there's this thing, you removed it. You could keep it on the back, but you're supposed to do is you're supposed to unfold this so you can get this little peg here. Kind of get your finger in there and fold it back out. And then there you use this peg. On either arm, it doesn't really matter that much, although apparently it's supposed to be the left arm. There's little peg holes right here. Goes in. Again, this is a little tight, so when you're pulling it out, what I would suggest doing is kind of slowly working out like this, because what happens is this little gray peg will pop right off this part. Otherwise, the first time I transformed it, that's what happened. I didn't notice. So wait a minute, where'd the peg go? And then oh, there it is. And of course, he's got his gun, which he can hold like so. And yeah, it's a great looking robot mode. You know, it's very much emulates the original G1 toy. And yeah, it just looks pretty good. It's imposing. It's a nice, nice whites and blues and grays and blacks and teals, I guess. My big complaint here will be, again, this sticker right here is a little off center, or not off center, but tilted when it shouldn't be. And then these little metallic stickers right here. I'm still annoyed that Hasbro's still using those. As a Power of the Primes, it looking like they might not be using those anymore, which is good. But it's a good figure. Just I think a couple little weak points here. Mine doesn't have any major paint flaws. Maybe right here there's a little scratch, but it looks really good. It just, it doesn't have all the functionality the original did, which is not surprising, but it's a good looking Overlord, and I think a lot of people will be happy with it. I also know Takara's already revealed theirs, and people are already jumping on that one. But if you don't want to pay for the higher costs and import fees and all that stuff for that one, then this is still a good alternative. Of course, he's also based on the same mold that Sky Shadow here is. If you want to know, this is them together. There is some clear, like the tanks for them, the lower half, almost identical molding. Some minor changes here, but they transform the same and everything. Most of the major remolding stuff comes on the upper half, which is why part of the reason their transformations are a little bit different, but because all the changes are up here. I mean, you can really see just how different they are in the upper half. So it's kind of interesting that just how much remolding for this upper half. Like, for example, Sky Shadow here doesn't have the little folding part for the base mode. This folds back for the base mode. This does not do that. This is locked in place. There is some of the molding's there to support it, but there's no hinges or anything for it. It's just kind of interesting how different they are, just the upper halves. A lot of remolding, so the jets in particular wind up looking way different. But, yeah. Overlord here, he does have articulation, which of course he does. Some limitations, but he does have his head does rotate side to side, no up or down, unfortunately, because of the way it works. But that's just been a common limitation of the leader class. Shoulders, forward and back, outward as well. Quite a bit of outward movement. So, and again, thankfully the cones aren't too big, so they don't hit his head. He's got a bicep swivel right there. His elbows shade over 90 degrees, but not a whole lot. Yeah, you get that. Nothing really at the wrist except for the inward tilt, which isn't really useful for anything. But I guess it's there if you ever figure out a use for it. No waist, because again, it combines, it's two halves combined together. There's engineering a waist in would be a lot of extra time and money I guess Hasbro didn't want to spend. But he does have hips. They go forward and back. Pretty good. Not full. And outward as well. Full splits there. Yeah, you can get the full splits. He's also got thigh swivels. Pretty nice ones. Knees, they don't quite bend 90 thanks to the tank bits back here, but they bend almost. If you untransform it, yeah, it'll bend way more than 90, but then you're untransforming and it looks kind of weird. So I wouldn't do that personally. But the thing is, he also has some pretty good ankle tilts. I mean, 90-degree ankle tilts, plus his toe and heel can move. So you can do a lot there with those, so if you got a certain pose, you can use the heel as support, like that and whatnot. There's also the Japanese configuration. They transform a little differently down here, which I noticed a lot of people are starting to adapt to their Hasbro Titan Overlords, which is you take this heel piece, you keep it folded down, and then you put the toe part down like this. The reason for that is to make him a little bit taller. It does make him a slightly more unstable, I've noticed. So it makes him a little taller. But again, just to really compare real quick to Sky Shadow, just how much height it adds when you do this. Not a whole lot of height, but he's about a head taller now. You can see that. Yeah, he's about a head taller than Sky Shadow if you go head to head. Thing is, yeah, it does make him a little more unstable. The only reason they do that is because, well, people are really insisting he has to be taller than Super Jin, right? He has to be, or else it's wrong. But I don't care about that. I prefer more stable, so I'm going to go ahead and keep him down like this. So yeah, it's a nice color scheme here. The whites and purples really, and teals, I guess, really mesh well together. It's not like just There's no like just anything where it's just a blob of just solid color or anything, or just weird mismatching or anything. It all works together really well. And also I forgot about this. These, you can open those up. You can put Titan Masters in there. I'll just grab a Thunderwing here. Yeah, you can put a Titan Master in here. It looks a little weird when he just, has a face chilling out on his chest. It's a little weird looking, but that's forward, more or less. This is more or less forward compatibility for the Power of the Prime stuff, because they're using the same engineering for for those things, but they're not faces anymore. I believe they're like Matrix type stuff, something like that. Yeah, Matrix is. So it's forward compatible for that stuff when that starts hitting stores. I believe that, again, the Japanese version comes with its own little special things for those. But yeah, it's there if you want it. If you want to just give them extra faces, which is weird, but yeah, it's a cool little thing that kind of pays homage to the original functionality of Overlord. But yeah, it's cool, but it's not going to be really particularly useful until the Power of the Prime stuff starts hitting. So I guess if you're getting Overlord and stuff, you're ready for some Power of the Prime stuff. But yeah, again, it's just a really nice little solid figure. Again, some of the limitations from leader class stuff, I've noticed that most of the leader class just doesn't have waist swivels for whatever reason. But it's a pretty solid, pretty tall, really nice looking Overlord, and well, for a lot of people, will be their first Overlord because, well, the original is really hard to find in good condition. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. It's worth it. It's $45 at retail. I think it's more or less worth it, especially if you don't already have the Sky Shadow. It's definitely worth it. If you already have him, I guess if you're trying to get the Phase 6ers, I guess it goes great with Sky Shadow and 6-shot. I'm not sure. The old generation Sky Shadow might work better if you really do not want to have two of the same mold, more or less. But if you want them to be different molds, then yeah, the generation Sky Shadow, although it's short, he can still work. Yeah, he's the same height as Jinrai, which upsets some people, but there's ways to alleviate that, I guess. Apparently there's a third party coming out with a whole add-on kit for him if you really want that. Or you can get the Takar version. But this Hasbro version, for $45, it's really nice. I think it's worth it if you never had an Overlord before. Which, let's be honest, most of you didn't. It's just a really good thing. It's also future-proof for the future play pattern with the Power of the Prime stuff. So, yeah, it's really nice. I suggest picking it up. I like it. I don't regret getting it. So, I guess that's my thoughts on it. I hope you enjoyed or found this informative. And you can like, comment, and subscribe below. And I shall see you next time.